RIP, RIP to a lot of things this year, but number one, 2024 in film, and we are going to give it to you. We are Ass. I am Adam,
And I'm Steve.
and we are Ass. A movie show. We talk about movies, and 2024 is coming to a close, and this is our last little slate of 2024 movies, and it's been a fun year. So we're going to go over some of those, and then we're going to do our top 10 list, and then we are going at right now. Because we still haven't seen everything that we want to see on the year, but we're recording this on December 30th. So there you go. And then we will finish with our ass anticipation game. We will draft back and forth movies and we'll score points and we'll cover what happened this year. But yes, Steve, talk to me about some movies that finish off the year.
So we're gonna jump back in our little time machine here and go back to one that came out. Was it like January or February when Night Swim came out? It was a while ago.
January.
Yeah, I was about to say we're going all the way back till January right now because I finally just watched Night Swim. I want to say it was on like Amazon Prime or something at this point. And all things considered, it had bad ratings when it came out. I forgot that Wyatt Russell was in it, and I probably would have seen it in theaters knowing that, but. I mean, a lot of people panned this movie pretty hard, didn't like it, but I kind of didn't hate it. It was a fun movie to watch. It wasn't like a great horror movie by any means, but it was watchable. Wyatt Russell's a good actor, so it kind of has that at least. And I mean, the concept of a haunted pool is just really weird in general. So, I mean, all things considered, I had fun watching it. I just still haven't watched that stupid AI movie that Blumhouse also put out, but I assume it's better than that, right?
Oh, Afraid. I did watch that as well. That is bad. You're talking to the right guy. I am a defender of Night Swim.
Perfect.
I gave it
It's
3 stars. I had a good time with it. I thought it was a stupid, silly little like concept of a movie. Like you said, I like Wyatt Russell. I just thought it was like a fun bit of a movie. What? It's 90 minutes. Isn't it a tight 90? It better be a
something
tight
like
90.
that. Yeah, it's not too much more than that if it's not because it didn't feel like it overstayed its welcome by any means. It had what's the lady that was from that Banshees of Inisherin too because
Oh,
she played
Carrie
Wyatt.
Condon. Yes, which
Yeah.
I loved her in Banshees.
Yeah, and she played Wyatt Russell's wife, which was a bit unexpected too that such a from someone such a high profile did this, but I mean, it kind of brought it into me, even though it was such a weird, off the wall concept that it almost made it feel more grounded with like that level of acting in there, I guess. It was funny. But it was, I
Mhm.
mean, yeah, like we both said, it's goofy, but it's a fun watch. So like I was at like a 2.5, but honestly I could bump it up to a 3 and I would probably watch it again. I mean, it has all the parts of Wyatt Russell like trying to recover from a baseball injury and dealing with the fact of like feeling useless now and all of that going on. So it had a little bit of like almost drama to the story too that I mean, like I said, made it feel more grounded in a way that when the haunted pool things start happening, you almost kind of like care about these characters a bit more than you would in the most normal horror movies these days.
It's crazy talking about this right now because I watched that literally almost a year ago, and then
Yeah.
I don't really think about it much. It's like a 3 out of 5, and I'm being generous. Like I just had a good time. This is the director's first movie. It is 98 minutes. I remember enjoying that there was like a character arc and like a stupid dumb little movie like this. Like it felt like they were putting effort into like fulfilling the narrative.
For a January release, it is above average.
I will say this. I specifically noted in my review when I first watched this that I hate the Brewers. And then my New York Mets went on to play the Brewers in the wild card, and we beat them in crushing fashion in like a walk, not a walk off, but basically. And I hate the Brewers. And a lot of this movie I was focused on because I think he bats left-handed. And I was like,
Think
but you
so.
play third base, and that's fine. Like Brett Beatty bats left-handed, plays third base. But I was like, he better not throw left-handed. If I watch him ever throw the ball left-handed, then I'll be like, this movie's bullshit. You can't be a left-handed guy and play third base.
Wyatt's an athlete, so I think he might stick up for that realism at least a little bit. I think he was like a hockey player or something.
Oh yeah, and I think I also was like nitpicking, and this isn't like matter. This isn't like actually affect the quality of the film. But they were saying that the player agent for him was the guy who did Mark Teixeira. I know it was Mark Teixeira And I think the other one was like Evan Longoria. And I looked it up after, and that's just not true. That's like you could have found a real agent. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you could have just based it off of a real thing. Yeah, it's not that hard. You didn't really have to say the person's name. You could have just based it off of something real.
Yeah, you said real players. Like if you just went like Greg Smith or like
Yeah.
a fake name, it would have been totally cool. But yeah, Night Swim, solid little film and first film, right? Like go do something
Yeah.
new now, you know?
Yeah, fun time, but jump into something a bit more new here. Daniel Craig's newest movie, Luca Guadagnino's second movie of the year, Queer. I
Mhm.
didn't really know a whole lot about it going in other than just Daniel Craig in it. And obviously Luca, he has his own reputation. I think I've seen everything in theaters that he's put out since Call Me by Your Name. I didn't get to see that, but love that guy. And this one, although I didn't like love this movie, it's a well-made movie for sure. A really entertaining story. It's Daniel Craig, so I mean that alone, he's just killing the game all the time with his acting. And I think we both kind of alluded to him almost feeling like, oh, this is like Benoit Blanc when he's not working. Like that's what the
Mhm.
character almost felt like. But it's a really good movie, and I think I gave it like a good 3.5. Like it's a solid attempt.
Mhm. I really enjoyed watching that movie. It didn't fully click and connect with me in the way that I wanted it to. I think Daniel Craig will get nominated for Best Actor at the Oscars, and I think that's well deserved. I don't think he's going to win. In fact, I think I saw something today where the guy from The Brutalist, the Adrian Brody, that he's like got an edge over Coleman Domingo from Sing Sing, and then a little bit of Tim Cham, a complete unknown, sprinkled in there. But I like Craig way more than I like Brody, and but Domingo's my pick, and then I'd probably take Tim Cham
Well, so
over
yeah, I
Craig.
still haven't seen Sing Sing yet, but I'm looking forward to it. But right now, Timothy's probably ahead of the game for me after just saying a complete unknown a few days ago.
Mhm. Yeah, I really like Complete Unknown, but yeah, Queer. I think that it's long, it's surreal, and that's when I think I enjoy it the most is when it's most crazy. I love
Yeah,
how intimate the leg cuddling is. That's a specific I mean, it's the poster, so it's not like I'm
yeah,
grasping at straws here, but um, it's like a very defining visual for the film for me.
absolutely. And I mean, the good thing about this one too, that I'll give the most credit to, is like a lot of the technical aspects of it are really good, and it's because a lot of the team from Challengers, which he made earlier this year, came
Hmm.
over and made this one too, including like the sound or the soundtrack and everything with Trent Reznor and everything like that. So
Hmm.
there's a lot going on in the technical aspect with the cinematography and everything too, but especially the sound, the music and everything was super good in this one. But yeah, solid thing from Luca here. I still think Challengers is in my top five of the year, and it's definitely my favorite of Luca's, but this was a solid movie.
I echo everything you just said. I think I gave it a three, and that's me being mean. I should probably give it more like a four. I'd rather it be remembered as like the best three than like the lower end four, you know?
Yeah, it's probably not one of Luca's I can see myself going back and watching like all the time, but maybe once in a while.
Hmm.
But moving on from that one that I know you haven't seen yet, but it's definitely on your radar because it's on everyone's radar, and it's that new Lord of the Rings movie. Not a whole lot to really throw out there. People like it. I feel like people are much more lukewarm on it than I am. I really loved the animation here, especially being like, I think it was like a whole Japanese animation team. Like it looks all in the anime type style, but they have some very good voice cast in here. Not a whole bunch of people that I really could recognize right off of name other than Brian Cox,
Hmm.
obviously, but he was fantastic. But I loved the story here. It takes place like before all of the trilogy stuff happened, and it's just a really cool movie to watch. And I love seeing animation on the big screen like that, and especially more adult-oriented animation rather than all the kids stuff. And I think it was a really fun time, so I highly recommend it. I think I was at like a 3.5 to a 4. I'd probably give it a 4 in the moment right now, but solid movie that I say check out.
Yeah, I
Um,
want to watch it. It sounds like an interesting swing, and yeah, no, it really isn't a very popular thing at my theater, at least. But the people who have seen it sound like a very lukewarm three as well. So. I'll see
Yeah,
it when I see it, kind of thing.
I think it's better than most people are giving it credit for, but it's not, unfortunately, it's not anything that people need to rush out and go see, in my opinion. Like, if you got the time, it's a fun 2 hours, I want to say, right around there.
Mhm.
And yeah, I say check it out. But other than that, another one that I just caught very recently, documentary stuff, it's recommend or it's nominated for best documentary. I'll touch on it for a second. I think it's called the BB Files or something like that, and it's about
Mhm.
Benjamin Netanyahu, the prime minister in Israel, who is honestly the person behind a lot of the war going on and in Gaza and everything, and basically trying to, for lack of a better term, cause a genocide and committing a lot of different war crimes. And what this documentary does is it kind of touches on a lot of the different things he's done and the people around him covering up different like money things that he's done and a lot of different very dirty deals that are quite literally just different crimes that he's committed over his time in office that he's been in like 3 terms now and just a lot of just evil shit that he's done. So I mean, it's a documentary that I just recommend a lot of people see to really understand what's going on in the world, but it's not really like in a ton of theaters or anything right now. I think it's streaming in a couple different places, but if you got the moment, it's a good watch, and I think it's really just I think it's about 2 hours long too, but it's not like a I don't think it's a boring watch. It goes back and forth. It has some, obviously, they speak Israeli, so there's some like subtitles and stuff, but it goes over different English people too. So, but there's a lot of information about just what's going on outside of our country and also the war that we are also funding with tax dollars from the US too. So it's kind of good to know where your money's going.
Yes, that is all very depressing. It makes me very anxious and scared. But yeah, that's heavy. That sounds very heavy.
It's yeah, I gave it 5 stars. I highly recommend it. But yes, if you don't really want to like you're saying heaviness, if you don't want to get into that and you're kind of just more into movies that make you feel good, steer clear of this one because it's not really I mean, it'll make you feel informed, but it doesn't make you feel any better about what's going on in the world. But another
Mhm.
documentary that's not the most positive, but also very informative, especially with, I don't know if it's necessarily as popular with your age group. You might be a little bit younger, but especially when I was younger, Spike TV at like midnight to like 3 a.m., they would always air infomercials for Girls Gone Wild. And it would be like tropical music and it'd be like censored boobs and stuff of people like flashing the screen, obviously drunk women and things like that. And it was basically like and they would what actually was the tapes that no one really knew about because not a lot of people really bought them, at least when I was a child, because we couldn't. But they were basically like taking advantage of drunk women and having them like perform sex acts on each other and different things like that while they were drunk and couldn't really consent and different things like that. So a lot of just really gross things. And they like interview the people now 20 years after it all happened and they're like, yeah, I didn't even remember that night whatsoever, and I actually found out that I was on the tapes by like people in like high school or college and stuff because they were a lot of times they were underage girls too, like on spring break. So they and
Mhm.
like girls dudes at high school would be like, haha, I saw you on this and blah blah blah. And like there were some girls that literally had like their college professor like bring out a DVD and be like, hey, will you sign this for me? Like swear to God one of them said that. Like it is very sad, but a very, very crazy watch. It was like a 3 episode doc on Peacock,
Mhm.
but it is
Yeah,
nuts.
on the one end, I'm like, though that's a creepy and like a taking advantage of kind of situation that the creators of the show are doing,
Yeah.
by putting these girls things without consent. I also think there's something to be said about don't, reveal yourself in public.
Yeah, that
Like
was
if I went on, the beach and I'm drunk and I showed my junk or whatever, like
well, and that was like the bad
there's
part about that
consequences
too
for
is
that.
like it was like the early 2000s where like that wasn't a lot of people's thoughts because like Facebook didn't even really exist at that point. Like social media wasn't a thing. Like people thought like, oh, I just do this once and it's over. But a lot of these girls didn't even know that the camera was there too. A lot of times they would just be like, hey, you want to do this, blah blah blah, and then like they would film it, and then it would just be like, oh, whatever, and they would just be done. And then they would literally find out years later that they were like on this tape.
Oh man. Yep. That's oh gosh. I mean, they should know what cameras are. You know what I mean? Like I haven't
It's
seen the
true, but like
documentary.
they were like
I'm sure they did
underage
covert
girls that were
things.
like obliterated.
Uh, Jesus Christ. See, yeah, it's all very uncomfortable.
Yeah, but
But
it's,
I'm
I
happy
mean,
that it was informative and clearly it was effective. Clearly it's an issue,
oh yeah, I watched it on like Saturday night and I've still, I mean, it's Monday afternoon. I'm still thinking about it in that much detail. So like it's definitely effective. But it makes you very angry at the same time,
Mhm.
especially being my brother being a father and me being an uncle of two young girls watching it and just thinking about the
Mhm.
future.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's all very
But if you
gross.
remember Girls Gone Wild and you think of it in a
No.
positive, I mean, but a lot of people in my age group and maybe even to their mid 30s probably see it as more of like a positive light because they would be like, oh, I'm seeing titties on TV at nighttime, even though it would all be censored, but it'd be like, oh, all like taboo, and you'd almost feel like you're getting away with something and you were watching it. And they touch on that in the documentary too about it being like especially back in the day, it was like, oh, Girls Gone Wild is such a cool thing. And like, there were actually girls who like would volunteer themselves to do it. And then afterward be like, oh my God, what the fuck did I do? Because like, they become a celebrity in the worst kind of ways for the worst kind of people.
Yeah, no, that's awful. That's awful. Yeah, no, I never watched that show. First, when you said like, "Oh, you might be too young for this," I was like, "Hey," and then
Oh
I
yeah, I
was.
mean,
I'm too young for this, and I'm glad to
yeah.
be. It sounds like a bad thing to be a part of, I guess.
Yeah, no, it was like it was looked at as a very positive thing back then, and now it's like you not even knowing about it doesn't surprise me, just because like it's like the Girls Gone Wild is like a term, but it's not really like a wide known thing of what it actually was.
Yeah, no, I knew what that show was. I just didn't. I've never watched it. I've
Yeah, no,
never.
unfortunately, they even told it in the documentary too that even though the women have sued the people multiple times, like the guy who ran it doesn't even own the videos anymore and actually has like a outstanding warrant for his arrest that he's like hiding out in like Mexico or something like that, like outside of the country because if he gets back in, he'll get arrested.
Dude, good for him for
And
evading
like there are
everything.
people that like
Being a little
and
cockroach.
unfortunately he doesn't even own the actual like catalog anymore and like someone that he sold it to still has it online to this day basically.
Oh my gosh.
So like the women are still trying to sue to get this shit taken down and everything, but
Yeah, no, this is horrible. This is all horrible. This is all horrible.
but moving on from that, but a little bit in the same category of kind of like rapiness, weirdness, but with
'Cause that's what the show's
vampires.
all about, baby.
But with vampires, we're talking
Oh
Nosferatu
yeah,
with Bill Skarsgård
yeah.
and his weird mustache. I fucking love that movie so much. Like I legitimately,
Mhm.
spoiler alert, that movie, I saw it on Christmas. Not only did it go into my top 10, it might even approach the top 5. And that's all I'll say for now. No too many spoilers, but
Mhm.
I fucking really love this movie. And I mean, this being also a remake of a movie that literally came out 100 years ago is an
Mhm.
adaptation of the book Dracula that actually the funniest part about it is like that original movie literally got sued to the point where they literally had to destroy every copy of it, but then eventually they were able to restore it with a few that they found.
Mhm.
But like Dracula or Bram Stoker's estate, his wife and everything, like basically sued them because they all they did was like change names, but basically the plot of it is the book of Dracula.
Oh yeah, no, that was my first thing that I really noticed because I had not seen the original Nosferatu and I had not seen the Werner Herzog
I've seen
version.
both.
So the only thing I know about Nosferatu is like a lot of people, the SpongeBob episode where he's flicking
Hmm.
the lights. And I always thought he was a goofy looking dude. And then obviously like I know about it now. I've seen What We Do in the Shadows. They have a Nosferatu looking guy.
Yeah, straight up Nosferatu since the 20s. That design of vampire, although it wasn't really like totally like a mainstream idea of like a vampire in a lot of ways, like the Bela Lugosi vampire eventually became like what Dracula was, but like that was kind of like the first design of that kind of like demon-like vampire, and it is s- paid homage to in so many different things, like What We Do in the Shadows. I mean, even like was it last year or the year before, The Last Voyage of the Demeter is basically the story of Nosferatu, the boat part. And I
Hmm.
enjoyed that movie because I love Nosferatu more than anything. So I mean, there's just so much out there that that movie specifically has like impacted in pop culture that it's I've been so excited for this movie specifically to come out from Robert Eggers, just because I love that original movie so much, and I was hoping that like, especially because that movie is silent, that something like that's something that we actually would be due for a remake of, rather than something that was made 5 years ago, like a
Hmm.
fucking live action Moana. Like, what the fuck are we doing? This is the kind of
Hmm.
stuff that like makes sense to remake, and I honestly I think it pays off because I mean. I will probably watch this version more than I ever watched the original, especially just because it's silent and I think it's only like an hour long too. Like it's not a very long movie, but this one, I mean, the acting is so good. It does get very weirdly sexual at certain points, but that's just a Robert Eggers thing that he loves. And but it also makes sense to the story and everything too, of him basically like seducing her with his like in her mind almost. So I mean, all things considered, though, this was a very good adaptation. That's my main point.
No, I want to echo everything that you're saying. I think that it's awesome. I don't have the reference to the first two movies, but I would say this is far and away the best horror movie of the year.
Yeah,
It's so the visuals of it are gorgeous. I love how it's not a black and white film, but it feels like a love letter to black and white films. And I love the effects, both practical and the CGI in the movie. I think looks great. I think that it's got some of my favorite cinematography of the year. Like, I mean, we all know the shot from the trailer where he's the silhouette in the with the curtains going. This movie's gorgeous. This movie is really gorgeous. I think that is it my definitive vampire movie? I don't know. I did really fall in love with Dracula earlier this year, but this is one I'll definitely rewatch, and I'm very interested in this subgenre of horror and this is another one of the greats. It kind of feels like the same vibe. Ooh, I'm gonna throw this one at you. This is fresh off the dome. The Batman 2022. This feels just like that. Like it's another great version of a thing we've had so many times. You know what I mean?
exactly. I agree 100%. Yeah, I can't get enough of this movie. Very good. 5 stars from me. Yeah, I love it.
Five, easy.
All right, and sticking on that train of movies I just saw, a couple days after that, I saw Timothée Chalamet's newest movie where he plays Bobby Dylan, a complete unknown. What's your thoughts on that one? I'll give you mine.
I support funny voices in movies. You see my
Hmm.
boy, the Buttman, Austin Butler. He did Elvis. Now that movie has a very different director. I think that while James Mangold is a very safe, mellow director, Baz Luhrmann is not. He is obnoxious, he is dangerous, he is volatile, and he's brilliant. I love Baz Luhrmann, so I like
Me
Elvis
too.
a lot. But this is very similar. You know what I mean? We have another hot young actor who's going to go and tackle one of the icons of music history, like the 20th century, like what Elvis, Bob Dylan. We're gonna, Michael Jackson is gonna come out
Well,
soon.
and we know the director of this movie has already tackled one of these biopics about 20 years ago now when he did
Walk
Walk
the
the
line.
Line.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we had Johnny Cash in this one, which I love too. Was it Boyd Holbrook, I think, that played him fantastically. Loved all of that. Yeah. Yeah, this movie was so much fun. I mean, I like you were saying, like with Austin Butler, fantastic as Elvis. And I think I wrote in my review, funnily enough, I wrote like who knew at the beginning of this year that we were gonna have Bob Dylan and Elvis fighting in a movie.
Yeah, no, I thought that this was really good. I didn't know a lot of the history. Sometimes it's annoying because I like to go into a movie blind, but then you watch it with people who do know the history of it a little bit, and they're like, "Yeah, I know that whole ending," and I was like, "I didn't know that that was such a big deal." You know what I mean? That he was such a rebel in that regard, like the
Yeah.
type of music that he played. I mean, in general, I do think that that's like wrong. Like if you went to a music festival that celebrates a certain type of music and you go and you play a different type of music, then it's like you're allowed to introduce new things into the world, man. Just do it at the appropriate venue.
Hmm.
But I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, it's interesting. I feel like there's a few different things that they could have done more in there. Like, I'll spoil it now. I gave this movie a 4 star because I did really like it a lot, and Timothy Chalamet was fantastic. But there were certain other things. Like, I don't know a whole lot about Bob Dylan, but one thing I do know that I wish they would have dove into a bit more was like he is a prolific songwriter. Like he wrote so many songs, not for himself, but for a lot of other whether it was Johnny Cash or so many
Hmm.
other people, but especially Johnny Cash. Like a lot of his hits were written by Bob Dylan.
And
Like he
Timothy
is
did a lot of his own singing too in the movie.
yeah, Timothy did yeah, he did a lot of his own singing. He did that voice, which does sound a lot like Bob Dylan's voice. Like he had a bit of that like Midwestern accent in there because he's from like Minnesota and stuff. And
Hmm.
there was a lot in there that was really fun. And I mean, we also had great supporting roles too, like with Edward Norton. I forget that guy's name right now, but he's a
Elle
famous
Fanning.
the singer.
No, Elle
No, I
Fanning
was
as
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah. I heard
girlfriend.
sorry, I was talking about the actual singer that he was playing.
Oh, I forgot too. But yeah,
Edward
when he did
Norton. Like I
the
can't
"Your
remember.
land is my land," this
Yeah.
land is... that was I was like, oh, I know that one.
Yeah. I think that guy was like I forget what he was like an actual folk singer and things like that and had his own like all of that stuff was real that he had his own like TV show and everything and I think that like a lot of that stuff was super cool and I feel like someone like especially my dad's age he'll probably get a bigger kick out of that stuff who knows a lot more about like that time period of music and a lot of those different musicians that they cover.
Mhm.
So, like especially people of that are fans of like Johnny Cash and things like that. Like this is like a love letter to that time period of like the 60s, especially with like the biggest credit I'll give this movie to other than like the performances, the sets and like the costuming, everything looked extremely of its time.
Oh yeah. No, James Mangold is a professional. You
Yeah,
know he's gonna shoot you straight and give you a damn good movie, unless
he
it's
loves his
Indiana Jones
biopics.
5. You know what I mean? But yeah, he does. You know what I mean? And I don't like this as much as I like Ford v Ferrari. But
No.
I like this more than I like Walk the Line. Probably. I don't know. Reese Witherspoon I think is a lot better than Elle Fanning is here.
Yeah, I think that my mom's getting that's my dog. Other than that, yeah.
Yeah, also gave it a 4 out of 5. That was very good. If Timothy won Best Actor, I'd be like, good, he deserves it. I think they're gonna do to Timothy what they did to Leo, or what they do to a lot of people. They're just gonna be like, you gotta earn it. You gotta
Yeah,
keep
you're a
making great
baby.
stuff.
You're a
And
baby. You
like,
can't do that.
yeah, good, good. I'm happy that they do this because look at Leo now. Leo makes a movie like once every like 2 or 3 years. And the Battle of Bacton Cross, we were just talking about this earlier, the new Paul Thomas Anderson IMAX film got delayed to 2026 now. And isn't that horrible?
Yeah, very.
So, good. Keep grinding, Timothy. You're not done until I say you're done.
Yeah, it's 4 out of 5 for me. Loved it, but another movie. So I double featured two movies today. One was very bad and one was very good. And we're gonna start with the bad because it's the one you haven't seen yet, and that is
Yeah,
Gosh Darn Craven. Now, people have been shitting on this movie. The
yeah,
average rating on Letterboxd, I think, is like 2 at most, and
yeah.
unfortunately, I need to add to that pile because I also gave it around like a 2. Maybe I think I wanted to give it a 2.5, but after seeing a lot of the CGI, I had to bump it back down to a 2 because I mean, I even said in my letterbox review, I will give you verbatim what I wrote at the end of it because it was just too true. The last line of my letterbox review, and the CGI in 2024 should not look this poopy. And I mean that wholeheartedly because the Rhino is in this movie, and I will be damned if this was probably the worst Rhino has ever looked in any MCU property of any kind whatsoever. It looked so bad. I'd rather have Paul Giamatti doing his whatever his
I
accent
am the
was.
Rhino.
Because this guy, I mean, he was trying his best, but I mean, everything about it was just so bad. And I mean, quite literally, a lot of the CGI in here, like there's a part where Kraven's fighting like a tiger and stuff, and at the part where Rhino and Kraven fight, it all is just looks worse than anything you see in Thor: Love and Thunder or anything of those that sort. Like it is. I don't know if they just didn't have enough time or they just stopped giving a fuck after this year of Sony movies that have released because yeah, it's bad. And I don't even like there are certain scenes in here like Craven actually like fucking people up that are pretty entertaining, but it'll be better to watch a supercut of those scenes on YouTube in about 6 months rather than actually spending 2 hours with this movie. Because his little brother actually is the same guy who was the little brother in Gladiator 2, like the little pipsqueak little guy, and he plays like almost the exact kind of character in this movie, so don't recommend it.
No, I want to see it. I'm going to see it. But I think the thing that makes me most excited about it is the fact that the movie is rated R. And that's awesome to me. Like, I'm so happy that they're actually finally going this route. We wanted that for Venom for the longest time. Morbius should have been like that. I don't think Madam Web needed to be R. Madam Web needed to be something completely different, actually. But yeah, no, I'm interested, and it's so neat to see this franchise fall. And I think that my number one thing, and you can answer this, that's fine. Was there a shot in the movie or a scene or a moment where Craven, like you could see his like whole like upper half, and he's kind of like standing like this, like with his chest puffed out and his arms out like that, with a
I feel like there were a lot of moments
mustache?
like that, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's all I need. You know what I mean? That's what like when I envision the comic book Craven, he's just standing there like
Oh yeah.
like stunting on them hoes all the time.
Yeah, the fighting stuff is cool. The rest of it is meh, honestly. Like the story stuff is not that good. It's all just like literally like I said, the supercut of this movie will probably be about 15 minutes long of all the action scenes at most, and those were fun enough, especially if you can overlook some of the poopy CGI to be honest. So yeah, I mean it's better than Madam Web, but I would say entertainment wise, I would rather watch Morbius again just for the laughability.
hmm I'm excited. Honestly, the worse it is, the more interested I am.
But yeah, and then last but not least on my list right now, I don't know if you have any more you want to cover, but
hmm
Sonic 3 was the movie I ended on today, and I think this is the best Sonic movie that has come out to date. Keanu Reeves was fun in there as Shadow. We have all of those returning people of Idris Elba. I can't remember who plays Tails. I love Ben Schwartz as Sonic. Jim Carrey playing both himself and his grandfather was fucking hilarious.
hmm
Love it when Jim Carrey like I when I read that Jim Carrey was retiring unless he found a role that he wanted to do again, and then of course he comes back to play two of the characters of Robotnik, just made me laugh so hard, and it truly felt like Jim Carrey of my childhood almost in a way of him just being so goofy and like the physicality of him like jumping on himself, like almost like the Grinch jumping on a Christmas tree. Like there was just so much in here, and like the whole dance sequence that he does, like it
That's the
seemed
best
like
scene in
he
the
was
movie.
yeah, it seemed like he was having the most fun, and that was really the best parts of this movie, truly.
Mm. Yeah, I think that I'm here for the whole Sonic franchise just for Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
So all the rest of it, I really like the blue stuff, the little guy that runs fast, that's fine. I am happy about this one in comparison to the first two in the sense that like we're getting less and less human bullshit every single time. By bullshit, I mean fucking James Marsden and Tika
James Marsden.
Sumpter. And then I hate her sister and her boyfriend. I hate them. They're so annoying. And there's a scene in
No
this
one
movie
hates
where they
Shamar
show up.
more.
I don't like them. They're not my friends. But yeah, they're annoying when they show up in this movie. But it's just like one scene. And then like there's a brilliant moment when James Marsden is like sitting at home and they're like just enjoying their day. And then they're like,
Hmm.
oh, everything's so much more boring without Sonic. And I'm like, yeah, then get out of here. And then Also, I have a lot of complaints about the movie. Like I just don't think that it had as much cojones as I wanted it to have. Um, and
I
then,
just
but what?
I just watched the second one recently and it was just too long and that's was my main gripe with it and it was kind of boring. Like this one at least like had more going on at least I can say at least. I don't know.
Oh yeah, there was definitely a lot going on. Are we talking about spoilers or are we not? Do we don't want to talk about spoilers?
I mean, I don't think people are really gonna care too much about Sonic spoilers, but
Because okay, here's one thing I'll say spoilery. Tom, kill him. What are we doing? Like why like that moment would have mattered so much more if Tom was actually dead, and then we could move forward. I don't need to deal with the humans anymore. Like the next movie should be on a completely different planet.
yes, but you have to remember at the end of the day, these are for children. So if you kill like the man in the movie, I feel like it would just not be good or great for children. Like I feel like that's a
Uh,
little bit too ballsy to do for them. Like you kill a lion in Lion King and that works, but to kill an actual
that's what I was
human, I
gonna
feel like
say.
it was just be like too rough.
But like I don't know, like Star Wars, it starts out with them killing the parents right away. Like, and they're not the parents, but you know what? Batman, like there's live action movies where they kill the parents right away, and it will be okay. I get it. This skews a little bit younger
I
than
will say, I
Star
just feel like this,
Wars.
yeah, that's what I was just about to say. I think the skew is just a bit younger. Like my niece,
Hmm.
I just don't like. I'm looking at it through that lens. Like she doesn't do well with like even blood or anything in movies yet. So to deal with like
Well, I don't
actual like a
need
death of like a,
blood.
but you know what I mean. Like to have a
Hmm.
whole funeral scene or something for a character would just be kind of wild, I think.
But I think like this is the main target demographic for this movie is boys between the age of 7 to 12, right?
And
I think
Olive
it's still a
Garden.
That's another thing. They didn't bring up Olive Garden in this movie, and it made me mad. But yeah, I think it still qualifies for boys 13 to 24, and then I still think it qualifies for males 25 to 45, maybe even
Well, yeah, it's
54.
it's widely considered the best video game adaptation franchise by a mile, I'm pretty sure.
So would you say this is the best video game movie ever? I would.
Uh, I mean, I'm still a fanboy of of Mario from 2 years ago, but I do really
Yeah,
love this movie too. So I mean, it might. It honestly, this probably has a little bit more rewatchability when it comes to just a full-on like story. I don't know. I haven't
Yeah, no,
rewatched
I
Mario in
will
a
say
while
this
either.
movie got me emotional. Like, there was a scene at the end of the movie. I'm sure you know, based on what I've just said, that my favorite. Oh yeah, wait, we can talk about spoilers. Um, Jim Carrey's sacrifice is amazing. Like when he says, like, your lattes with Austrian steamed goat milk. I love the way you made them. I
Yeah.
like shed a tear. I was because that's the relationship I care about the most is him and his little henchman.
Yeah. Yeah, all that stuff was hilarious. Like pretty much the Jim Carrey shit in general was by far the best stuff. The rest of it was fun, but without Jim Carrey, I would not care about this franchise.
Also, everyone's been really excited about Shadow being played by Keanu Reeves. He's fine. He's good. Cool.
Yeah,
But
I
like
love
it leaves
Keanu.
no impact on me whatsoever. It could be like a random Joe and it would still be fine. Also, like I could tell that like Shadow's supposed to be like the badass one that's like you're supposed to be scared of him. You know, he's supposed to be threatening. Every time that they showed him, I felt the opposite. I was like, oh, he's so cute. And, like it's so cute when he's sitting there just like you know what I mean? He's this cute little,
Yeah.
hedgehog. Like, I don't know. I always thought it was just funny every time I saw him like pouting.
Yeah, it didn't have to be Keanu, but I don't hate that it was. I guess is
Yeah,
the
no,
whole
it's cool. I mean, they all BS of oh, and I've watched all of the interviews with him, and he's like a psycho compared to all the other. Like Ben Schwartz is amazing, Jim Carrey's amazing, James Marsden's pretty all right. Tika Sumter's really good, and then yeah, no, but Keanu's a nutbag. But I love him. I do love him, but I think he's overrated.
not overrated.
Mhm.
He's not overrated.
No, I know I'm in the minority. I'm just that's the whole point. That's the whole point of overrated is that everyone loves him. The
Yeah.
majority of people feel like you.
But with that being said, that is the end of my list of newer movies. Do we Do we have any more that you want to cover? Or do we want to just jump into that top 10 of this year?
Actually, I'll rattle off a couple. I saw Mufasa, the Lion King, and I
Hell
hate
yeah.
it. It
Yeah,
sucks.
I expected you to.
Yeah, I always wanted a brother. Like that's
I
so funny.
Yeah, I don't know. I probably just wait till Disney Plus at this point, especially because like I don't really care about it that much. Same feelings I have towards what other Disney thing came out recently? Oh, Moana 2. Yeah, I'm not gonna see that. I'm just waiting for Disney Plus at this point because I feel like that's where it belongs. Are you there?
Excuse me. Good thing I got that done right before, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah. Mufasa. I watched Mufasa and we brought up Moana too. We can kind of loop both of these in together. I hate Disney and I hate movies and they're awful and they make me mad. Moana 2, I did not have the balls to negatively rate it. I gave that a 3 out of 5 because where I think that Mufasa is an actual affront. Like the design of the character design, the design of the world in general, the choice to have realistic looking animals when you're trying to do a musical is moronic to me. I was excited because of Barry Jenkins and Lin-Manuel Miranda, but I thought that Barry Jenkins, it could have been directed by Peyton Reed, and I wouldn't have noticed. And Lin-Manuel Miranda's music, some of it was good, others was embarrassing. Like the villain song in that movie is downright tragic. Like it's miserable. And I thought that like I was eating bad when Chris Pine sang the song in Wish. This is the thanks I get. Did you ever hear that one?
I have not even seen Wish.
This is the things I get. Do 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 do. Yeah, no. At least that was like a movie that was intended for theaters. Yeah, that's one thing that I don't like about Moana 2 is we knew it going in. It was supposed to be a Disney Plus series. They moved it to a theatrical release. The music's not that good. I hate that the one of the songwriters came out and was like, "Oh, well, everyone that's complaining about the music is stupid, and they're gonna feel silly when all the kids are, singing all of our music." First of all, they're not. Like no one's
No.
singing that music,
I've
at
not
least to
I've not
me.
heard one song outside of the movie and I haven't seen the movie, so I know
Yeah, it's
none of
not on
it.
the radio, it's not on social media. Like I've heard the Mufasa song like on social media. I haven't heard anything from Moana 2 and I'm at the theater, so I would hear if these kids were like if it was playing on the radio, like like play the movie music all the
That's
time.
That's the thing that truly baffles me about this movie is that I have not seen it, nor do I know anything about it still, even though the movie has been out for a while, all things
Nobody
considered. And
cares. Like I
but it
gave it a
made
generous
so much
3.
money. That's the crazy part, is it made so much money at the box office, but no one's talking about it.
Yeah, well, it didn't make Inside Out 2 money. I will
That's
say
true.
that. But which people are expecting it to outpace it. But at least Inside Out 2, like I thought that that was like a, whatever-ish sequel, like a downgrade
Yeah.
sequel.
I enjoyed it, but
This
yeah.
is a downgrade. I know I enjoyed it. It's a 4 out of 5. It's not my top 5 animated movies of the year, but 4 out of 5. Moana 2, I give it a 3 because I was like, I watched it in a theater full of families. They all enjoyed it. They all laughed. Every joke, by the way, in this movie is like, hey everyone, don't forget to eat the pork. And then they cut to the pig, and then she's like, oh man, I gotta stop doing that. And it's like, yeah, we get it. You did that joke in the first movie. They're all just callbacks. Like, oh, remember the dancing kid who made the like face at her? Like, oh, let's bring that back. Look, he's a little bit older, and we're gonna do the same joke again. And it's just so lazy, and I hate it. The villain song is fake. It's not a villain song. That is, I'm sorry, that character is helping Moana. That character is, supporting her both emotionally and physically, like on her journey. And she is not the bad guy at any point during the film. So, yeah, I hate this movie. Yeah, no, but I gave it a 3 because I'm a bitch. Like your niece will like it. She'll have a great time. She'll be like, Moana.
I literally have a popcorn bucket that like I have it until April or whatever, and I can refill it twice a day or whatever when I go to the theater. And
Mhm.
it's Moana 2 on it. Like I could have picked Venom, I could have picked Wicked, or Moana
Venom's
2.
better. Oh no, no, not Venom. Moana's better than Venom, but Wicked's better than all of them by far.
Yeah, I made the wrong choice there, but I was hoping for Moana 2 to be good. But yeah, it just totally stayed out of my radar, and I think I'm better off for it at the moment because it just sounds like a nothing thing, unfortunately, and it makes me sad because like I'll just go back and rewatch the first one because I adore that movie. But yeah,
Well, yeah, no, the first one's great. The second one is so forgettable nonsense. I think I made it in my bottom 10 of Disney animation studios like all time, and they have like 60, movies now.
yeah,
So that's really low. You're down there with the wartime era crap and the post-Renaissance crap and embarrassing. And then Mufasa's worse. 1 star for that. That was there's one song I like. It's the I always wanted a brother, and I'm really into that.
yeah. I don't. Yeah, like I said, Disney Plus for me on both of those. Not really anything I'm running toward.
hmm
Y-
Other movies I watch, I'm Still Here is a foreign film I watched. If you want some depressing stuff about, war and conflict in other countries, then I'm Still Here is really good. I voted for Fernanda Torres for Best Lead Actress. There's my second place vote. I also did rewatches of a bunch of stuff this year. Carry On. Did we talk about Carry On?
Oh no, I
It's
forgot about it.
fine.
Yeah,
Apparently, it's like the most popular Netflix movie of all time, but I've never heard anyone talk about it, and it's really not that good. It's just fine. It
I
feels like an industry plant.
I watched it yesterday, and I mean, all things considered, I enjoyed it. It very much feels like Die Hard 2. I don't know if you've seen that one, but it literally takes place in an airport on Christmas Eve. So
Yeah.
like, they were very inspired when they made this one, I think, by that. But I enjoyed it. I love a good Jason Bateman role, and I mean, he's very much just playing evil Jason Bateman. But
hmm
I enjoyed that. Like everything considered, like it very much feels like a movie that like they filmed and wrote in like 1996, and then like, oh shit, Netflix just found this in the back closet back here. Let's just throw this on right now. And that's very much what it like. It has like one-liners and everything and very cheesy humor, like the whole like montage of the TSA. Like it
hmm
very much is just trying to be very like I said, like Die Hard, like, oh, we're a little bit silly, but we're action thriller, like, but all things considered, like, it very much feels like a TNT original that you would pop on a Sunday morning that I enjoyed for the most part. Like, I gave it like a 3.5, and I think that's kind of what it is. Like, it's nothing like extraordinate that I would tell somebody that like they have to go see. It's a must see of the year. But if you're looking for like an entertaining action thriller, it checks most of the boxes.
I love that they like add on the Christmas element too at the
Hmm.
end. And then I don't know. I hate the TSA. Anyone who works at the airport, dead to me. I don't like them. There's a few jobs I hate, and everyone at the airport, even the person working at Auntie Anne's, hate them too. Sorry, you're in the airport now. Um, but yeah, fine movie. It was like a 3. I didn't care about it at all. Sing Sing, that's a great movie. I heavily recommend that. Coleman Domingo's like, please give me an Oscar, please, 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 and they probably will, because I think he's due after Rust and other things. Starring Jerry as himself. This is like a little like narrative documentary so I guess I watched one documentary about the beekeeper, but just less cool. This old guy gets like tricked into like giving all of his money away. So that sucks. And then Here, I'm actually a big fan of Here, the new Robert Zemeckis movie where it's all the same shot the whole time and it's Tom Hanks over time.
Oh, I've
I
seen the
really like
poster,
that.
but I don't know anything about it.
Oh, I thought it was really ambitious, like a classic 21st century Robert Zemeckis movie is. Um, I don't think it fully works the way that he wants it to, but I really appreciated the movie. I don't like how small the movie gets at the end, because it really feels like this like wide-ranging thing, and then the one thing that it chooses to key in on at the end is like, but I don't know. I would love to rewatch this, but I'd love to own it on Blu-ray. I actually really like this movie.
Hmm.
Kind of smitten. Um, Subservience, the Megan Fox and Netflix original about her being like a robot, like a
Yeah.
sex robot. Not really a sex robot, but she does. And she looks like a robot in real life, so that worked really well for her. The movie sucks, though. It's bad. Flow is an animated movie about a cat. It's in my top 5 animated movies of the year. It's going to get nominated for Best Animated Feature. It's a foreign film, but there's no words. It's just animals, and it's just guys being dudes, just pets being pets. You know what I mean?
I I love that. I think I saw that poster. I saw it's a cat, yeah.
Yeah, in the water. Yeah, it's really cute. Cute movie. I liked it. Kneecap. This is I actually would love to recommend Kneecap to you. It's on Netflix. It is a movie about Ireland and the Irish language. And it's about these like young boys that become rappers and they're like rebels and they're trying to suppress the Irish language and whatnot. I think if I'm remembering this. But yeah, no, it's full of energy. It's full of life. Did you ever watch Sing Street?
Yeah, I own Sing Street actually. I love that movie.
Yeah, this kind of feels like that a little bit. I mean, it's a little more mature of a movie than Sing Street is, but like it feels like the logical next step for that, like a spiritual sequel. Um, but yeah, I really recommend Kneecap. Michael Fassbender is the only like big name
Hmm.
in the movie, but I just like that it's like it's got good music, it's got good performances, and it has something to say. Like it's about things, like it's about politics a little bit um, and like how a culture and a people identify themselves through the language they speak. Um, Really interesting stuff. I liked it. Night Bitch was a disappointment. Amy Adams thinks she's a dog. This should have been my favorite movie of the year.
It's on Hulu now.
Yeah, it's similarly to here, goes down a route that I'm like, this is the most boring route you could have gone down. In a way that like The Substance, a movie that I also gave 3 stars to this year, and actually I probably would raise the bar for that one because that one's sat with me extremely well. But that movie like cranks it up at the end, like to its fullest, like past maximum. You know what I mean? It breaks the lever. Whereas these other two movies that I was just talking about, Night Bitch and something earlier, but like they really like here they douse the fire with water and it's like, oh, come on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, Our Little Secret. Oh, that's like a fake Netflix movie, right? Yeah, no, that's a fake Netflix movie with Lindsay Lohan. That sucks. Look Back.
Oh, Craig
Sorry.
Robinson. Is Craig
Uh,
Robinson a cop in one of
oh
those?
yeah, 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 yeah. He's funny in that, and I was actually surprised that he
Or
was
was that the
even in
Frosty
that.
one?
I
That
think
was
that
the
was Hot
snowman
Frosty.
one.
These are all the
Yeah.
same. We're watching the same
I
movie over and over
truly
again.
I haven't watched any of these. I actually watched a PMI, like pretty much it. I watched like his like highlight commentary track of that. And I saw that Craig Robinson was in it. And I think I saw your review that you wrote Craig Robinson was in it. And I was like, this is the only reason I want to watch it now.
Yeah, he's like a cop who like takes his job too seriously in this small town, and that's funny. Look Back is an anime that's on Amazon Prime. If you care about your like top 5 animation ranking of the year, this was my number 2 of the year. It's a beautiful movie. I love what it has to say about pursuing art. It's This relationship between two main characters is really sweet. Animation's gorgeous. Definitely watch. Piano Lesson, that's with Denzel Washington's son.
Yeah.
It's like a play movie. It's on Netflix. It's an acting, and it's great. The acting's really great. I mean, it's a 4 out of 5. It's not like reinventing the wheel or anything, but like it is a really enjoyable time. Actually, Samuel L. Jackson's really good in it. Um, I'm just gonna speed through a bunch of the rest of these because I'm realizing this is taking a while. People's Joker, that was fine. Baby Girl, hot and sexy. Nosferatu, we talked about that Christmas. Not bad. Show that to your niece if you guys like are still in the Christmas mood. Spellbound, show that to your niece. That's the Rachel Zegler Netflix musical.
Forgot
I
about
think
that.
it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's better than Moana 2. So. Other than that, though, yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I watched so many movies. Movies are crazy. I'm actually nearing 800 films, not diary entries, because I have like 830 of those. I'm nearing 800 films on the year. I have to get like 6 done in the next, 36 hours.
Yeah. Good luck. All
Yeah,
right.
probably
But
won't.
let's just jump over to our 2024 top 10 of the year as of December 30th, 5:18 p.m. We won't go really in depth with these since we're already like really running on time and we probably already talked about these in past episodes. So if you want to hear us talk about these, just go back in our catalog and watch because we probably talked about all of these. But my number 10 right now, you want me to just do my 10 through 1 and then you do your 10 through 1? Or you
Well,
want to
you
like
know
jump
my
back and
list
forth?
because we're on Twitter. So like when you say yours, I'll just like if it's on my list, then I'll just be like, yeah, that was at my this one. You know what I mean? That
Number,
way we can
all
both
right.
talk about it.
Sounds good. Number 10, Alien Romulus. Wasn't on my top
Wow.
10 as of a few minutes ago, but I just love this movie. Number nine, Bike Riders. Had to get it in there.
Yeah, that one's at my three. Alien Romulus, I support you. I love the Alien franchise. But yeah, that one was a
Due
four
to
for
your
me.
rules, this will not be on yours. Late Night with the Devil at number seven.
That did really well for
Or
me when I was
number,
doing my four-star bracket.
sorry,
I actually really
number
liked
eight.
that one. Sat well. I support that.
Number seven, Honora. Love that movie. Should probably be
Oh.
higher, but number six, Furiosa, Mad Max Saga. Love that movie a lot. I know a lot of people didn't love it as much, but I think it's great.
Yeah, and Nora I had at my five spot, so it just cracked the top five. And then Furiosa was at my, I think that would now be eight. Yeah, eight on the year. But I did rewatch and it did really well in rewatch, so I might change this up.
My number five, Wicked Part One, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
My number four, which was at one point my number one, Dune Part Two.
that's my two.
My number three, Luca Guadagnino's Challengers.
That's actually also no, that's my four actually. But I support that.
My number two, the movie you talked about a little bit ago that you ranked with 3 stars, The Substance.
Like I said, it's gotten better in my mind. The problem I had with it is minute compared to how great the great stuff is in it, you know.
And my current number one movie, and it might be recency bias, so we'll see if it still stays there by the end of the year in 24 hours. Nosferatu. I
Wow.
can't get enough of that movie. I literally couldn't get up to go to the bathroom because I just couldn't walk away from it. I had to see every moment. Love,
Hmm.
love, love that movie.
Yeah, no, Nosferatu is great. It's at my seven, I think, on the year. It's hard to like count this with how it is. The only thing that docks is just a remake compared to a lot of these other things. I mean,
True.
Dune Part Two is a remake, but the only ones that I didn't have that you had was I had A Different Man is still my number one. When you have a chance to watch that, I really recommend it. Sing Sing was at my, I believe, the sixth spot. That one's like great. I've already talked about that a little
Is it
bit.
on a streaming service of any sort yet? I didn't think so.
It came out in theaters back in July, so it might be out on like, digital platforms or whatever.
Yeah, I'll have to look for it because I haven't seen it anywhere, and I don't think it ever came out in my theaters, weirdly enough.
Yeah, I had to go to Disney if I wanted to see it, and I didn't want to go that far, so I didn't do it. And then I think I also have, oh yeah, Transformers 1, I think is at my like 10 slot, like just barely getting in
That's,
there.
I think that's definitely in my top 20, if not top 15. Like it's definitely in the area.
Yeah, it's my best animated feature of the year. I think that I just rewatched it, and especially like, after watching Mufasa now, which is trying to accomplish very similar goals. I mean, both are like, CGI prequels of major franchises where the main leader figurehead of the franchise is young and how
Yeah.
he formed the initial, bond and, you know, eventually separation between the main villain of the franchise and they're the same thing. And Transformers One just does it so much better. So, big
Yeah, I
props.
think right now for my animation, I think I'm tied with Transformers 1 and Wild Robot because I really just love that movie too.
Yeah, Wild Robot did not make my top five animated movies of the year, and that's partially me just being like because I hate her because I gave it 4 stars. It's good. It's just soured in my mind so much. And the other 4-star movies, like I have Wallace and Gromit at the four, Flow at the five, three. Is My No Look Back is at the two, and my one is Transformers. So that would mean that my three would have to be something pretty good, huh?
Wait, no, yeah, definitely no. Snail's actually my top. Fuck
Memoir of a
that.
Snail, yeah, Memoir of a
Yeah.
Snail is my three. I totally forgot what you were talking about that movie. Thank you for bringing it up. But yeah, honorable mentions. I think that Trap, M Night. I'm an M Night hound.
Still, still have not seen it.
It's I if I could have voted Josh Hartnett for Best Actor, I would have. Um, but I couldn't. So Deadpool and Wolverine, that's another one I want to shout out. Like I
That's
know
what
it's
I,
got glaring problems, but I love it with
that's
all my
around like a
heart.
12 for me. So yeah, it's just outside.
And then
Saturday night is right
Hitman.
on the
Oh,
outside.
Saturday Night is high on my 4-star list. Yep.
Yep. Long Legs is still up there for me too. I Saw the TV
Yeah.
Glow is pretty up there for me.
I need to
Smile
rewatch
2,
that. And then Smile 2 is on mine in my top 10 4 stars. Yeah.
yeah. Cuckoo I still really enjoyed as well. I forgot about that for a minute.
hmm
In a Real Pain, I still recommend that one, by the way.
That's no, I've seen that one. That's at the top of my
Oh,
4 star list. I think it's either one or two. Oh no,
yeah.
Hundreds of Beavers is my one for
I
four
still need to
stars.
see that.
Yeah, that one's really great. But great movies, and it's such a great year, and we're so blessed. Even in a bad year, I would say this is a bad year, like compared to previous years. Like literally on my letterbox, it's the lowest rated year since like the 60s for me. So,
Yeah, I think I definitely like gave some movies that in retrospect I might bump down from fives because I may have just gone a little too high on them just because this year just hasn't really been that like overwhelming with anything. Like something that I'm really like, oh, I really loved that movie. Like there's only a few of those that I genuinely say that about, like Nosferatu. Like that's a movie that's stuck with me like since I saw it last week and I'm still thinking about it and kind of wanting to watch it again already.
oh yeah, there's a few like my top three. I feel like is extremely solid. Bike Riders, Dune, and A Different Man. I think
Yeah.
these will contend against other favorite movies of previous years, but. Like I said, I only had 10 5 stars and I struggled to get to there, and two of them are labeled as 2023 movies on Letterboxd, which is annoying.
Yep.
But yeah. All right. Well, we are on to the ass anticipation game, and we have our winner. I think last time we knew our winner anyways. But
Yeah.
Steve, congratulations. Once again, you have destroyed me in the ass anticipation game. Final point totals would be 570 points for you, Steve. That is amazing. That is great compared to when you got, well, actually, you did better in 2022. You got 618 when you won. So you're regressing, buddy, okay? And this year I finished with 441 points. I had 460 points last year. So I am very consistent. I am going to hit on maybe wait, let's see. I finished with Dune 2, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, Despicable Me 4, Kung Fu Panda 4, A Quiet Place Day 1, and Mufasa. So I had six of mine work out. Whereas the previous time I had, yep, six of mine work out. And then you had, let's see, Deadpool 3, Inside Out 2, Gladiator 2, Beetlejuice 2, Sonic, Twisters, and Wicked. So you had an extra movie on me.
Sequel horror.
And let's see. And you had eight in 2022. So yeah, buddy, you're regressing. I'm staying right where I am. So eventually, if you just keep getting worse, one day you will sink past my level, but that's still like over 100 points away. So we'll try again this year.
All right. Well, I'm ready when you are. How about it?
All right, well, you get the first pick since you are the winner, so I have to earn my way back to the top.
All right. Well, with my number one pick, I'm
Man.
going. Hmm. You know what? I'm gonna go with Avatar: Fire and Ash.
I knew that was gonna go quickly. Um, I'm happy because I think the second one only had like a 70 something. So there maybe there's some amount of franchise fatigue, and that was after like a 10-year gap or so. So this one maybe it's only a few years after, and it's
That's
already
true.
on the decline. And then I have bitches in my ear all the time being like, "Yeah, it's just Blue Pocahontas. They're the coolest movies ever, and you're so
You
lucky to
know,
have it."
and I'm the person who does not really enjoy the first movie, but actually enjoyed the second one much more. So, I mean,
Well,
I'm
I love
hopeful for
them.
this third one.
Well, clearly, yeah. So that's a great pick, man. I think that's an awesome pick. I support you. But I'm gonna take your heart. I think, because I think you love this franchise, and since you took my heart, I will take your heart back. I will take the Mission Impossible, the Final Reckoning.
God damn it. I knew you would.
I just think that it's not going to make as much money as Avatar, but that's not what we're worried about. Oh yeah, real quick, just for everyone at home who doesn't know how we play. So this is the Ass Anticipation game. We draft 10 movies, so 20 total, back and forth. And the goal for this game is to have the most total points at the end. How do you get points? If your movie grosses $100 million domestically, so that's just in America, $100 million during its run during the year 2024. So, like for example, Mufasa and Sonic both made it to 100 million before December,
Yeah.
January 1st, whatever. So they counted.
Huh?
But yeah, you only have the calendar
What?
release to make your money. And if your movie makes the 100 million domestically, then the Rotten Tomatoes score goes to your point total. So if your movie grosses $101 million domestically and has a 76%, then you get 76 points. So the whole intent of the game is to incentivize you to pick the best blockbusters. So we're not just sitting here being like, this small movie that no one's heard of before, because it's going to have a stupid good Rotten Tomatoes score. So there's amount of like you have to pick something that's going to be popular, you know, obviously popular. But Mission Impossible, it did what, the Final Reckoning?
Yes, sir.
Mission Impossible, and then, so you would be up, good sir.
All right. And with my number two pick, since you mentioned that word kind of stuck in my head, popular. So maybe I'm gonna go
Ah,
Wicked Part 2, Wicked for Good, I believe is the title they announced.
yes, Wicked for Good. That's a great pick. That was the next one on my list. That's awesome. Let's see. Do.
Truly, I was going one or two ways when you said like it's a franchise that I love. I was like, damn, is he gonna go Wicked or is he gonna go MIP? I was like,
Well, I am going to continue to be big here and just going to go down the list. Give me Superman.
damn, that was gonna be my next one too.
Yeah. I just trust
Uh,
James Gunn. I trust him.
Exactly. I mean, more than anything, the box office is 100% gonna be there, but with James Gunn, especially in the writing and directing chair, I got a good feeling. Have you watched that show that he's doing on HBO Max right now? Uh,
No, the Creature Commandos.
it is so good. I'm caught up to like not the very newest episode, but like three or four episodes in. Very good.
hmm
Very much in the same vein as like his Suicide Squad.
hmm
Highly recommend it.
Yeah, I trust the man. I trust the man, and I love Superman, and I want to see this movie. I've been going through all those animated DC movies that I bought, and
Hmm.
they're fun, so I'm gonna have a
Yeah.
good time.
Hmm. All right. With number three, I have a few places I can go.
I do think there's a huge drop off here.
Yeah, exactly. Like the hard part is the Rotten Tomatoes side. Like some of these, I'm like, yeah, they're gonna make money, but are they gonna hit that mark?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go with this one. I'm not 100% sure, but with the cast, I have a good feeling about it. The Fantastic Four First Steps, or First Steps, whatever you want to call it.
Is it the Fantastic Four
Yeah, the Fantastic Four.
or the First Steps or just First
First
Steps?
Steps.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah, it's
sorry.
like a colon or whatever, I think.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that was where I was gonna go next, so I support you in that decision. Um, then I think I'm gonna play it a little bit safe here, and I'm gonna go with one that I know is gonna make the money, and I'm pretty sure is gonna end up with a fine score. Yeah, give me Zootopia 2.
That's on my list for sure.
Yeah, just I'm not too excited for it after Moana 2, but I think that they're trying to accomplish different things. And this was meant to be a
Yeah,
movie.
I think Zootopia 2 has more potential as a sequel, more than like Moana. It didn't really like. There was no necessary way where a direction to go. But like with Zootopia, there's a plenty of directions to go with it.
Yeah, I'm confident in that one. Your fourth pick,
Hmm.
good sir.
There's a few different directions. You know what? I drafted it last time. It didn't come out. So should I just draft it again now?
It's all
Hmm.
yours, man.
I know, but do I waste it now or do I just wait? Because you're not gonna take it. You know what?
Then wait, then. Take something I want. I don't want anything now, so yeah, good. Take everything.
Am I gonna do a ballsy pick when, especially money wise? I don't. You know what? It could be ballsy, but I'm gonna do it. Mickey 17, Bong
I
Joon-ho's movie coming out.
I love that you picked that. I love that you picked that. That's a
Bong
great
Joon-ho
movie.
just is like a household name now. It just feels like it could be something. And the trailers have really starting to win me over a little bit too.
No, I fully support you, man. I think that that movie looks awesome, and I don't think it's gonna make the money. But I was one
Yeah,
of
it's
my like later on picks that I was thinking of, but it should
I'm,
make the money. It should make all of the money.
I will say I'm hoping that since Bong Joon-ho has like the Oscar and everything, that maybe it'll just bring out more people that might not have seen Parasite in theaters, maybe take a chance on it, especially being not in South Korean.
No, I'm right there with you, man. I love that pick. You are gonna have better movies than me because I'm gonna take just a bunch of slop. Give me. Speaking of slop, how sloppy should I get? Give me. I one that I'm really, everyone's talking shit about this movie and it's gonna surprise everyone. Give me Elio. I think that that's gonna be like
Oh,
a sneaky good hit with Pixar.
is
It's
it
in the
two L's or
summer.
just one?
1L. It's gonna
Okay.
be cute. It's gonna get nominated for Best Animated Feature. It's an original Pixar.
Straight up did not write that one down.
Fuck. I should have taken it that early then.
I saw it there, but I was like, I don't know. Like, I mean, obviously, it always makes the money because Pixar prints money, but I don't know. I'm
It's
hopeful it's
Pixar. It's
good.
gonna be a certain level of good. Like even their
Yeah,
like
I mean,
trashiest
the fact
stuff still gets good Rotten
the
Tomato
fact that
score.
it's not even a sequel makes it better in my eyes already. Like, it gives it an advantage.
Exactly. So, well, all right. I'm okay. I'll make it back. I'll make it back. There's a lot of big
Oh,
stuff. Like that's the thing. I'm not worried about there being enough big stuff. I'm just worried about
my
all the big stuff being bad.
exactly. It's the Rotten Tomatoes score that are really throwing me off on a few of these. But I adored the first one. The sequel's coming out this year. I'm gonna go Megan 2.0.
Yes, I thought that that was what you're gonna take. Okay, yeah, no, that's a great pick, dude. Megan 2.0, I support you there. Um, I also really like the first one.
And it was like
Uh,
a surprise hit too. That's why I'm like, it's a little bit like strategic there, but I don't know.
hmm. Give me, fuck. Some of these I'm worried because like I
It's the
think that they're
Rotten
gonna make a lot of
Tomatoes.
money, but they're yeah, their Rotten Tomato score is gonna
It's the
suck.
100%. That's why like some of these I'm looking at them and I'm like, they're built-in box office smashes, but are people actually going to like them?
Yeah, I'm gonna take Jurassic World Rebirth. I just think that that's like just the most guaranteed money in the world. And I'll
Yeah,
take the like
especially
50% that it gets on Rotten Tomatoes, you know?
you're getting the fanboys who have crushes on ScarJo with that one at least too, and all the dinosaur boys.
Yeah, I feel good about it. I feel good. I'm happy.
And I mean, anything's got to be better than that last one because I'm still sour on that one, and the fact that there's an extended version out there that I'm never gonna watch.
Oh yeah, no, I think that it's gonna have
The
goodwill now. It's like,
the
okay, we're at
theatrical
least
cut
trying to
was
move to a
extended.
different place and it's not just nostalgia bait, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, we are halfway through. You have Avatar, Fire and Ash, Wicked for Good, The Fantastic Four, First Steps, Mickey 17, and Megan 2.0. I have Mission Impossible, Final Reckoning, Superman, Zootopia 2, Elio, and Jurassic Park or World Rebirth.
With number six, I'm gonna pick a movie that like when it first was announced, I wasn't too big on it, but the trailers have really won me over in the last month or so. That's Captain America: Brave New World.
Oh, I thought you were gonna go somewhere else.
I've been thinking about other things too, but that's the one that's like been staring at me.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I mean, it's, Marvel, and it's Guy Harrison Ford in it, Anthony Mackie. It's gonna be one of the first
Yeah,
big exciting movies of the year.
it's box office for sure, but that it's the Rotten Tomatoes part that it's like our critics just tired of Marvel and getting a shit on it, regardless of if it's actually okay or not.
Yeah, I'm worried about the reshoot situation. Like, is that indicative of like bad
Didn't even
quality?
know that.
Yeah, well, the people are really like comfortable giving Marvel movies bad reviews these days. So
That's true.
like, but Captain America is more of a solid brand. than
I
these
was
other
saying, I love
things.
that they're like leaning back into like the Winter Soldier type thing with like a espionage type thing, and I love that story. So
I don't blame you. I think that's a very good pick. I will not join you in that realm. I'm actually gonna do a movie that I hate. I think this movie's stupid. I think it sucks. I'm very anti it, and I'm actively rooting for it not to make money and to fail. Give me How to Train Your Dragon.
I love those movies, but yeah, I'm kind of sad that it's already that's one of my points of like what I made with Moana about the live action thing. It's like I'm happy that it's the same director and like his if he's gonna bastardize it, it might as well be him, but at the same time, why bastardize something that was just so fucking good?
Yeah, I think
Three
it's
movies that
stupid.
were all solid.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I have no idea what everyone's problem is. But no, and I love those. I mean, I really like those original three movies. It's just this new one. I don't. Why would I need that? But yes, you are up, good sir. We have four left each. It's getting to the nitty gritty here.
Yeah, this is tougher.
Nittier and grittier. I know what my next one's gonna be.
You
For
know what?
sure.
You've gone sequel Disney. I'm gonna go Disney live action bastardizing the thing I love and go Lilo and Stitch.
Woohoo! Lilo and Stitch. You ripped the Band-Aid.
Because I mean, Rotten Tomatoes might not get there, but it's definitely gonna cross the box office. So
I think people still like it. Like it doesn't look that awful, the Stitch CGI thing. I don't
no,
like it,
yeah.
but people will like
I've
it
seen people out
enough.
there that legitimately say like it's so cute and everything, and I don't know what they're seeing, but I respect their opinion a little bit.
A little bit. You know what? I was literally last round. Like I'm not gonna join you in the Marvel realm, but fuck it. I mean, we're at that point. Give me Thunderbolts. I hate that movie too.
I did not even write that one down because I like money, yes, but I think it's just gonna get obliterated by critics because all of the humor and everything just seems like it's very goofy.
Oh, a lot of people I'm friends with are very excited about it. So I'm like, it's got Florence Pugh, Sebastian Stan's,
I wouldn't
hot
say
right
that I'm
now.
like unexcited about it, but I'm like not gonna get my hopes completely up.
Well, now we are really like, I'm like, ugh, what else do I pick here at this point?
Yeah. I'm trying to look at one thing here real quick before I make my next one. Oh God, yeah. Oh, you know what? With my number eight, I want to do a sleeper that I don't even know if it's on your radar or not that you're thinking about it, but I feel like you might have brought it up earlier when we were talking about biopics. I'm gonna go Michael.
Fuck, I knew I shouldn't have said it earlier because I was like, fuck, this might like, but I was like, oh, maybe this is a little like, ooh, I might
Nah,
persuade
I had
him
that one
to.
written down at my number nine up here, but I hadn't touched it yet.
Damn it. Michael's very high on mine. I didn't think you would take it. That sucks. Okay, great pick, man. Great, great, great
I
pick.
almost forgot about it, truly.
Wonderful pick, man. I couldn't support you more.
Do you want to know what I looked at right before that? The Rotten Tomatoes
Oh,
score for Five Nights at Freddy's, because I was looking at Five
ew.
Nights at Freddy's too. And the
Oh my
Rotten
God,
Tomatoes
there's a
score is a
better world
32.
because I was literally just about to pick Michael, but I'll take F1. That is what I will take.
The Brad Pitt F1 movie. Didn't
Yeah,
write that
people,
one down, but I think it'll make
damn
I
it.
well, the only thing is like I think it'll make a lot of money overseas. There's a good audience in America for F1 too, but I think it's gonna print money overseas.
I'm hoping for the Top Gun audience. They're passionate. They love Top Gun, so
Hmm. This shit is getting very tough.
yeah, this is a nightmare.
Let me roll through one more time on here.
Push that button. Good. Oh, you only think she's hot because she's made of hellfire. Is that Venom? Is that my Eddie Brock, Topher Grace?
Oh yeah. Yeah, my parents are watching that 70s show.
I love him.
Ooh, Dogman comes out next year, but that's not gonna make any money. Insidious, there's an Insidious 6. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, I'm very into Dogman. I'm a supporter of Dogman.
They're remaking Naked Gun, but it's with the Lonely Island guys. That's fun.
Yeah, let's see what everyone else took.
I think at this moment, ooh, do I make a ballsy pick? Gosh, there's fuck it. Saw 11. I don't want to keep looking at stuff.
Saw 11. Oh boy, we're getting to the nitty gritty, man.
I'll say Saw X is enough of an argument there.
Let's see. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. That's nine. Yeah, wow. Okay, so this would be my ninth one.
Yeah, Saw
You
X was fresh. I thought it was. It was 81.
know what? I think that, you know what? Give it to me. I think that we are going to see a big box office turnout for Tron Ares.
Is it ARES, like the
Yeah,
god?
like Ares the God of War. Was that on your list?
It was like on the side. I've not seen a Tron movie yet, but I know they got real big fan bases, so I don't doubt you on that one whatsoever.
Mhm.
All right, number
This would
10.
be, yeah, your last pick, buddy. One more.
Oh,
This is tough.
I think in this moment, I am going to pick Ballerina.
Ah!
Because I don't want to pick. I was gonna pick Wolfman. I was gonna pick the monkey. I want to pick all these different horror things, but horror does not do well on Rotten Tomatoes. But
Mhm.
Ballerina, I feel like John Wick universe is gonna do better than most horror probably, unfortunately. But I mean, I say that, but I also just picked Saw 11. That Saw X got 81 on Rotten Tomatoes. But I mean, none of these other things. Like I'm hopeful that Lee Winnell, the Wolfman, does good, but.
Me too. I'm excited. I just got the invite for that today. Um, I'm between two movies that you didn't mention. Two awful movies that I hate. Either gonna take Snow White or Minecraft because I know both of them will make money, but I don't know what's
Okay.
gonna.
I just want to tell you, I have three more movies written down. It is Snow White, Minecraft, and Five Nights at Freddy's 2.
Wow. I'm gonna trust the Gerwig. Give me some Snow White. I think that
Rachel
she,
Zegler's gonna get you there. I don't care about the haters.
yeah, I don't know. Minecraft's
I
just
almost
like
did
too
it.
embarrassing. You know what
Yeah,
I
no, that
mean?
trailer is just so fucking bad. Jack Black embarrassed me when I was like, he's like, I am Steve. It just made me mad 'cause I was like, no, I'm Steve, you bastard.
Yeah, but well, that's the thing is it's just like that and Five Nights at Freddy's kind of scratch the same itch of like this is dog shit. So
Yeah, like kids will eat it up, but critics do not like kid shit unless it's like Disney Pixar for the most part or something very emotional, touching at their heartstrings. Like goofy
mm,
popcorn movies do not make the critics happy.
yeah, one that was taken in my work draft, a really high that we didn't take was well, Battle of Bacton Cross, which is the new PTA Leonardo DiCaprio movie, but also Sinners. We pussied
I
out on
Sinners
Sinners.
Sinners was on my radar, but again, I was just like it's like in that horror realm, but I'm like it could do Get Out numbers, but it also could just be another movie. Like what Annabellum or whatever that came out years ago that no one talked
Yeah.
about.
It seems very niche, you know what I mean? Like I'm in support of it, but it's like this like dark vampire period piece. See, they're
Yeah, it's Coogler
twins.
with a
He's
great
doing
cast, but
drugs.
I just don't feel like it's like that. I even like people outside of our film realm probably don't even know that it exists.
Exactly. So I put it in the same realm as a Mickey 17, but I think Mickey 17 looks a little sexier. But
I think Mickey 17 has at least a bit more box office star power with Pattinson, hopefully, especially with like the fatigue of Batman not coming out for a whole nother year now. I feel like people are gonna want to see this man.
yeah,
Fingers
hopefully,
crossed.
I'm rooting for it. And then Snowpiercer gets a lot of like love in America, so I maybe
Yeah,
caught
I
on to
forgot they made a
that.
whole show after it. Yeah.
Yeah, so it looks like to be a great year of movies coming up. Hopefully, I can surpass my previous standing because I just you have my number, man, and I commend you for that.
Yeah, I enjoy this. I think we got some good lists going here, so it's gonna be an exciting one.
Yeah, awesome. All right, well, the first thing on the docket for next year, you will be up first with Captain America. I believe is the very first thing, and then I don't think I have anything until what Snow White's in March, I believe.
Yeah.
So I have a little bit of a ways. So I think Zootopia is also early as well. I don't remember. But yeah, I'm
April
gonna
maybe,
wait a
yeah.
while. Yeah, most of mine are over the summer, and then you have the earliest and the latest because you have Avatar: Fire and Ash, which is the
And
very end
Wicked,
of the
yeah, with
year.
November.
Yep, that's true as well. Yeah, and then wow. All right, well. Congratulations for winning last year. Here's to this year. Uh, and I have been doing reviews. I did one on Sonic and Mufasa that I'm very proud of. I'm gonna do a bunch of videos. I have like nothing to do the next 2 days. So I'm gonna watch Craven. I'm gonna watch Lord of the Rings. I'm gonna do my most anticipated movies list. I'm probably gonna get together my top 10 and bottom 10 list of the year. I'm doing my whole ranking for the year in Letterboxd right now. Excuse me. And then I'll probably do Nosferatu and maybe a couple other things. But yeah, no, movies are great. Check me out at Hard Reviews.
Hell yeah. And you know what? I think this weekend I'm finally gonna buckle down and maybe just one long video of just going over the year in general since I haven't made a video all year and just try to get myself back in the groove here going, or maybe even just a top 10, bottom 10, some type of deal anyway. But we'll see when it comes this weekend. But keep an eye out on the Film Fan Reviews, subscribe to that channel, but also subscribe to this channel, like the video, and comment below. Give us your top 10 of this year or even your anticipation of next year. Give us those. We would love to see them and have you play along with us. So do that, and we will see you next time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ass play.